If you're feeding a crowd, consider this homemade salad and giant tray of cheesy, golden brown bubbly pasta. And if you're not feeding a crowd, consider it anyway. The leftovers are dynamite. We'll get started with our homemade Caesar salad dressing, which begins with 1 cup of good quality mayonnaise and some anchovy paste or minced anchovy fillets, about a teaspoon worth, a couple of crushed or grated cloves of garlic, a teaspoon or so of Dijon mustard, an equal amount of Worcestershire sauce, and about 2 tablespoons or roughly the juice of 1 lemon. You can definitely use bottled salad dressing for this, but that really wouldn't be appropriate for a cooking channel. Plus, this homemade dressing is super tangy and delightful. Lastly, we'll grate in an ounce or 2 of fresh Parmigiano Reggiano cheese and heap on lots of fresh cracked pepper and a pinch of salt to taste, and give everything a whisk to combine. If you don't use all this right away, pop it in the fridge. It'll be good for up to a week. Next up, we'll go ahead and boil our large shells about 3/4 of the way for the package directions, probably about 7 to 8 minutes, and then mince up a whole large handful of parsley. To make our stuffed shells filling, we'll grab a large bowl and add in 1 egg and give that a thorough beating. We'll follow that with 3 cups of full-fat ricotta cheese. We'll follow that with 2 cups or 16 ounces of grated mozzarella, and I was using the bag stuff here. It's going in the filling, so I'll allow it. A nice heavy cracking of pepper, a little bit of pinch of salt, and several more ounces of Parmigiano Reggiano. We'll add in a little bit of our fresh parsley for color and a little touch of that nice herbal flavor, and then give everything a thorough mix to combine. Once your shells are mostly cooked and drained, we need to talk about sauce. You can definitely make your own, but I'm going to use jarred sauce. I'm using the best quality stuff I can get. The first ingredient are whole peeled tomatoes, and that's what you should be looking for as well. Go ahead and put a few spoonfuls of that down into a 13 by 9 inch baking dish. Turn your oven to 400 and let's stuff some shells. You're just going to grab a heaped spoonful of your cheese filling, tuck it right on in there, push it down to make sure it is all the way inside of that shell, and lay it into your baking dish. You'll rinse and repeat until you run out of cheese or shells, or if you're lucky, you run out of both. One thing I love about this dish is it can be made in advance. If you're feeding a crowd or having company, you can just park it in the fridge and bake it off whenever you're ready to serve. The leftovers are also phenomenal as it keeps for several days in the fridge afterwards as well. Once you've got your last shell stuffed and tucked into your baking dish, you're just going to drizzle over that entire jar. That's 28 ounces of marinara sauce. Again, you could definitely use homemade. It would only make this better, but I am taking a couple shortcuts today. Finally, we will heap on a ton of freshly grated mozzarella cheese. Definitely want freshly grated for the topping so that it melts and gets nice and ooey gooey and bubbly. Park it in that 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes or until it is cooked through. In the meantime, we can make our salad by slicing up a nice freshly washed head of romaine lettuce. And then I like to dress my salads in a bowl. We're going to just add in a few shavings of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and we'll drizzle in some of that freshly made Caesar salad dressing. Optionally here, you can add in a little more fresh cracked pepper. I like to add mine at the top at the very end, but we'll just go ahead and make sure all that lettuce is very nicely covered in that dressing. Slide it out onto a plate, and then for the thumbnail's sake, I'm going to add a few more slices of fresh Parmesan and a few croutons. We'll pull our stuffed shells out of the oven. Look at that, golden brown, absolutely ooey gooey. You know it's going to be delicious. I'm going to garnish mine with a little fresh Parmigiano Reggiano because, you know, it's basically a whole tray of cheese. You've got to garnish it with cheese. And to make it healthy, we'll add a little bit of that finely chopped parsley. Alright, this salad is very simple, but a good Caesar salad is really delightful. You get that funkiness and that acidity from the lemon and the anchovies. Get a nice bite from those fresh croutons, that nice crunchy romaine. It is a great starter to any meal, and it's nice and light since we're about to bomb our stomachs with some carbs in the form of pasta and lots of ooey gooey stretchy cheese. I cannot emphasize enough how you should let this cool before you try and eat it, because it is exceedingly hot when it comes out of the oven, like burn the roof of your mouth hot. But it is also delightful. Look at that nice gooey ricotta. That really good quality marinara makes all the difference here. I love this dish. It is so filling. Definitely going to want to work out before and after, but I know you'll love it too. Give it a try. Let me know what you think, and as always, go make something delicious.